record on my computer. Perfect. Okay, I let people in, and thanks guys again. Excited. Hello everyone. Hi everybody.
Oh, I should admit.
Hi guys. Welcome.
Hi everyone.
Hello guys. Thank you all for coming. Hi everybody. I'm just admitting people. Guys, we're gonna give it a couple more minutes because we're gonna wait for everyone to join, and then we'll start. We'll start these events. Thank you all for being here as a start, and we'll do the introductions in a couple minutes. I see here some familiar faces, some people that I don't know, so that's nice as well. So guys, just a couple housekeeping, rules. I'll ask you all to mute, apart from the speakers, just to make sure that there's no background noise and stuff like that. So please go ahead. We'll do a Q&A afterwards, of course. And if that's the case, if we're a small crowd like we are right now, which is awesome, if we're like keeping a bit more intimate conversation, we can let you guys unmute when you have to ask questions. Okay, but for now, while we're gonna speak, I'll ask you all to please mute yourself. And if you want to put the video, amazing, love to see you guys. If you don't want to, no problem. So
okay. Hello, Laura.
Hey, Carlos.
Just put on your camera if you're asking questions. It's just better rather than just hearing it from just a.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, guys, so I think we'll give it one more minute and then we'll start because we're already about 17 here, which is a nice group. And then we'll, the latecomers will come and we'll just get them in when they arrive.
Laura, is there a phone dial-in?
Is there a phone dial-in? I believe there is. Let me do that for you. 1 second. Is that for Yelena?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just figure it out. Give you 1 second, guys. I'm gonna try to send that to you. Hey, you all, 1 second. Okay, send invite. Send email. Here it is. I'll send it to Yelena. Done. Good. Okay, guys. Well, that starts it, I guess. I think that we're all here. So thank you all so much for joining this Ask Me Anything series part 2. This is the second time we're organizing this with amazing professionals to talk a little bit about major industry topics that are like burning questions on your end, guys. So we're going to talk about building portfolios today for post-production and advertising. So we're very lucky to have actually 3 artists from the Mill. Guys, the Mill, obviously, I'm sure that if you're all here, you probably know what the Mill is. Amazing company worldwide who's been, working on, I'm pretty sure, a lot of projects that you've all seen on your television and many other places. So I'll let, of course, our speakers introduce a little bit more what the Mill is. So we have here Mazyar, who is a lead compositor. I've spotlighted, Caitlin, I'll spotlight you as well, just in case you want to be adding also a couple of things here. Let me just do that right now, sorry. We have Dylan, who's an associate compositor, and then Caitlin, who is compositor. I think we added 2D, Caitlin, because we found that on your LinkedIn. So those will be, the 3 amazing artists that are going to talk to us today and share their expertise. And just so that you guys know who I am, my name is Laura, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of the Artbound Initiative program. So our program is an accelerator for creatives. So we basically connect students and fresh grads with amazing companies around the world, such as the Mill, to basically find them internships and also organize a lot of career development coaching and organize events and a community. So That's who we are, and that's why we're doing those types of series and those types of events, because we're trying to bring you guys great content that you can utilize to launch your career. So that's who we are. So today our convo breakdown is going to be very easy and hopefully smooth. We'll be talking about, portfolio do's and don'ts, and I think we can kind of like, I'll let Mazyar and the team really kind of tell us about, what their thoughts are on how to put a killer portfolio. And then I will ask all of you, I love that we're actually intimate here setting. I will ask you guys, for those who might want to have their portfolio critiqued, as you can see, the portfolio review is going to be only 15 minutes. So it's going to be overall advices. But for those of you who want to have a chance to get selected and to have 3 artists from the mill take a look at your portfolio and give you some kind of feedback, please start typing in your portfolio link in the chat room, and then I'll select a couple of them to do a live portfolio review. Okay, so just a little heads up, an action step for you guys to do. Please put your portfolio link in the chat if you want it to be reviewed, of course, or get a chance to be reviewed. And then afterwards, we'll do the realest Q&A. So that's going to be a time where you guys can ask all your questions. There's never dumb questions. Like, ask away, please. You have the opportunity to have amazing people that are here, and it's not every day that you can talk to professionals like that. So go ahead and ask away anything about portfolios, anything about either entering also the industries, right, and hearing about your speakers and how they did it. So from that, I will stop sharing my screen on my end. We'll start with the portfolio do's and don'ts, and I'll let basically the floor to the team of the mill.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. Hopefully, we'll have some informative information for you guys. I'm gonna share my screen, but basically, I think we're gonna go super quick. We're gonna have like a quick bios, each one of us, and then I'll try to like briefly say a little bit of myself like everyone else, and then hopefully we'll have more time in your side and you want to ask us anything about like how you want to enter the industry and stuff like that. But so I'm going to start with myself. So basically my name is Mazyar Sharifian. I'm a lead compositor at the mill. I suppose you already know about the mill. It doesn't need introduction, right? So I'm originally from Iran. So I used to be actually a motion designer. So I know a little bit about your world. I'm not just completely a compositor, like just visual effects. So before, like, but how I did the transition, as it was actually during the college. So I like my bachelor is completely unrelated. It's like in science, but I went to school to get my master's in visual effects, and that was the introduction for me to visual effects and compositing. And like being at school not only helped me with like kind of like obviously hard skills and soft skills, but also it kind of opened the doors to big companies, one being obviously the mill. At the time it was MPC. So basically what happened is that the school can help you apart from like the soft skills and hard skills. It's going to help you like with like connecting you to big companies as well. And since then I've been like working at the same place. So I was like really fortunate to have like being able to do that right after graduations. So yeah, that's kind of my story. So I want to just do like ask Dylan and Caitlin to quickly do the introduction as well, because I don't want to just talk and say do's and don'ts and then switch to Dylan and Caitlin. I want to have like kind of an icebreaker for everyone. So let's maybe jump into Dylan and just tell us about your like a quick bio.
Yeah, so my name is Dylan Nett. I a recent graduate. I keep saying, but I forget. It's been now over 2 years since I graduated. I went to the Savannah College of Art and Design, got my bachelor's degree in visual effects, and graduated in 2020, which many of you know is probably the best year to graduate. It's the worst year to graduate. And no one was hiring and everything after graduation. And it was, I had to finish school online, and then the search for a job began, and I had to figure out a way to connect with companies without meeting them in person and without them visiting the college in person. And nothing happened for like the first, I think it was 5 or 6 months after graduation. And then I finally got a response from a company, which was MPC, which later became The Mill, and asked me if I was interested in doing a remote internship. I obviously agreed to it, and a couple months later, started it, moved to New York, and had a great time with the internship, learned a lot, got to work on some great projects, and then was later offered the full-time position to where I am now as a junior artist, and have now been full-time for, I think it's about to be a year and a half now since I've been full-time. And yeah, I've been able to work on some great projects over the last year and a half, but I do understand the whole working remotely, because that's basically all I've done since entering the industry, is worked remotely and finished school remotely, and connected with people via LinkedIn and emailing. And so it's a lot different than it used to be when recruiters would come in and you would do an interview on in person. Now it's, oh, do you want to do a Zoom call? And so it's a lot different, but I definitely have found some unique ways and good ways to reach out to people and get your name to stick out compared to all the other emails that these companies are receiving.
Awesome. So Caitlin?
Hi, my name is Caitlin. I've been at the Mill for about 3.5 years now. I also graduated from the Savannah College of Art and Design. During my last quarter there, I was actually part of a collaborative class with the Mill, so I got to work hands-on with Mill employees who helped work with us on a project. And I actually was offered an internship from there by working in that class. And then I've been at the Mill ever since, so I had the internship lined up before I even graduated. But I got my MFA at Savannah College of Art and Design. So my undergraduate is in architecture, which is also very unrelated. So I can relate to the transition as well. And yeah.
Okay, great. So now I'm gonna just try to just make it as quick as possible. I was asked to just, maybe I can just find my, let me just start sharing my screen actually first. So I was asked if I can just find my old, what is it, website and my old reels. So what happened is that, so I found my old website, but I couldn't load it because it was Swift. It's Flash. For some of you may know Flash. It's dead now, so I can't even load it. So I can't like basically share my old website. It's from 2010, I think. But I can like show you what I've got when like after graduation. So basically the reel that got me the job for like as a compositor, like entering the the MPC Mill. So I think it's it shouldn't take long for me to play this. I can just show you maybe one reel. In a way, it's kind of before and after, in the sense that how I got into industry and how it's going for now. So this is the reel that I present. This is like my final project. So my focus was compositing, but because I had a background in motion design, I was working as a like with 3D applications as well. So it is a little bit broad. Let me just mute this. So it is a little bit broad. That's actually one of the tips I'm going to share with you guys, that try to focus on something like a specific skill. Maybe 60-70% of your work should have that skill, but you can just have other skills as well. And one other tip that I'm going to tell you is that maybe something unique. For instance, I don't know, here is motion capture, for instance, or coding or Python, or it could be 360 work, or it could be interactive Unreal Engine work. So maybe that specific skill, which is rare, can help you somewhere, right? But overall, try to focus on something. So my focus was in this reel is mostly like, for instance, here is like just obviously like kind of motion design focus, but mostly it's kind of compositing. So I was like applying as a compositor. So I was like just trying to make compositing work well. But as you can see, it's not, I didn't have many work. I tried my best to just collaborate with people and try to make up projects as well by myself. But one thing that one thing that is also important is that try not to I'm going to go over these notes again, the do's and don'ts, but try to have collaborative projects, try to have like unique, like own personal projects, or with other people, like a projects you just make up something, rather than like working on some like exercises that already been done. For instance, I don't know if it's common in motion design industry, but for instance, in visual effects, maybe there's a tiger in a green screen and everyone's like using that, and it's a cool shot, right? I mean, you can just put it in the background, work on it, but because it's been seen a lot, I mean, even if you comp it perfectly and you just put it in your reel, it's not going to be seen. But if you have a mediocre like a work, like for instance, this is a collaborative project, this is going to be seen better, because we as recruiters, we are not only looking at the quality of your work, we are looking at, for instance, when we see you worked on a collaborative projects, we know so you have some soft skills as well. You can just work in in a team, you can work as well. So these are important. It's not just the quality we want to see. And obviously when we are like doing the interview, we're talking, we can just see some of that soft skills when you're talking. But overall, this is more important to have unique projects, collaborative projects, rather than like, you know, some cool shots it's been used a lot, like a specific green screen. So this is the old one, and I can show you like my latest, like, which is from 6 months ago, I think. It's just basically, I want to show you like in no time you can just work on world class where like projects like advertisement, obviously in this case, and these are obviously like public works, because sometimes you may work on something that's kind of it has NDA, so you can just share it. So basically these are like public work that it can share. So basically, yeah, this is, hopefully, I'm pretty sure all of you are pretty like smart people, and you'll have a better result even in less than it's less than 5 years maybe. But basically this is, and as you can see, this is a little bit longer, so, and it's a little bit different as well, when I'm talking about the points I'm going to talk about, because when the points that I'm going to tell you, for instance, I'm going to tell you like, put the best of your work at the beginning of your reel, not like, you know, it doesn't have to have a progression. Because as these tips that I'm going to tell you is actually, it's more for entry point people, like if you want to enter the industry. Because for instance, if you're being hired as a senior, usually recruiters, like they are like just more specialized, like the supervisor is looking at the work and it's not too many applications. But for instance, as the entry points, there might be like many applications, and recruiters, they don't have enough time like to go through everything. So usually you need to just keep them hooked the first like 10-15 seconds, and so that's why you better just put out your best work at the beginning as well. So these are like, but again, I mean, it could be this one, as you can see, it's a little bit longer as well, so it's like 2 minutes, but try to keep it short as well. That's another point. But these are just about like reels. I'm going to show you my resume and my like the whole package as well, as much as I could find. But yeah, some of these can be related to your work as well. Like you guys like are I guess focused on motion design, right? So I have some work, and I did some of them, not this, for instance, I did the effect actually, but some of them I did the motion design as well. And that's another thing, that if you have an extra skill, that's going to help you do like do the progress, like you can just really grow in that company. So
and Mazyar, just to let you know, sorry, just to let you know as well,
go
that
ahead.
like this crowd is super diverse. We have people that are like video editing, we have like graphic
Oh,
designers,
that's
motion
awesome.
designers, got video editors. So yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I thought it's just motion design.
All good.
Okay, that's
No,
perfect.
I just wanted you to know in case for future. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome, because in that case, I mean, if you go to my website, actually, it's Cubic. This is like something that I made, like, I don't know, in 2000, like the website, the domain, I got it in, I don't know, in 2000, maybe 6, 7, I don't remember, but I made up this brand and I have kept it till today. But basically, like, for instance, yeah, if you want to go check it out, I mean, if for video editors who are into films, you can just check out my film reel. I do independent film making as well. For designers, I would suggest to maybe take a look at the motion design and technical stuff and 3D, and obviously comp is separate. But so this is my reel, this is my resume, and so it's basically, I think there are so many ways, like there are like so many tips and tricks for resume. I guess there's a specific structure. Try to be really short, like try to have like different sections. And one pro tip that I can tell you is that don't use like Word or like, like you're designers, all of you, most of you, right? So basically try to use like applications like Photoshop, or I would definitely suggest like something like a vector-based application like Illustrator, because when you export, first of all, you're not restricted to like, a specific like size of the header. You can just design anything you want. And then when you export the PDF, you can just select the text, you can copy paste it. So it's much better rather than like a, a flattened image from Photoshop or something. So it's just a pro tip I thought I should share. But basically, yeah, just design it, just make it interesting but simple. And for instance, here I did make a design for this, so I can use the same design, for instance, in my breakdown sheet. For some of you may need breakdown sheet, for instance, for the stuff you have in your reel, you need to just like put like what were you responsible for, right? And I think, yeah, I did find this CD label as well. I think I was like just sending it to some like packages, here and there as well. Like CD days, like CD labels is over. Like the age of CD labels is over, I guess. We went from floppy disk to like just CD and DVD, and now it's like just flash drive, I guess. So so this is like the package that I've managed to find. But I'll just go again to make sure I talked about all the tips. And yeah, and again, I tried to make it as quick as possible. But so I think I already talked to, like, try to focus on something, like mostly like know what you want to be, because to be honest, I was making kind of a similar mistake, so I had some time to just think about it. Is that, for instance, I wanted to just enter as a generalist instead of as a compositor, or some of you may be like want to be a CG artist or whatever. It's like just try to have a focus and mostly focus on that in your portfolio, and then have the rest of the stuff as well. But because as when you're entering a company, especially the big companies, they want you to be focused on something because they want to use that skill. But then you can show other skills when you enter the company. Don't worry about it. So that's one thing that's really important. And it's going to help you with this with the rest of this stuff as well, because for instance, because you're focusing on something, you're focusing on a specific skill as well, and that focus would help you to populate your even reel on a specific type of work, specific style. For instance, again, I was like thinking about like motion design. For instance, you're one of the companies you want to apply is like Box Studio, right? For instance, I mean, again, I didn't know, it's like just mostly it's like just like multi-discipline, but you want to apply for the mill. So you go and check out the work we do, and it's, to be honest, it's pretty diverse. I mean, you can't just pick a specific style. It's like you can just find any style here. But for instance, like some companies, maybe again in Buck Studios, some companies are like doing, I don't know, stop motion, or try to find that, like when you're focusing on specific skill, it's going to help you to grow that skill and maybe populate your portfolio with those type of work. And for instance, again, I keep up like thinking about a Buck Studio because they have a specific skill. So you, when they're looking at your work, it's going to attract them basically, right? So that's one thing that's really help you with if you focus on something. The other thing is that obviously these are like some skills that you may already know, you've already, maybe you're doing it. Be active in social media, especially in LinkedIn. All of you should have a LinkedIn account. I'm pretty sure you already have, but I'm just double checking. And you start like building up your network. Again, I think it's more common now, but when I was entering, like when I was at school, it wasn't that common. Now it's getting more common. So that's one really important step. And the other thing is that have a website or somewhere for yourself to be able to present quickly, right? It can be like, website is the best way. If you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the time, you can have a Vimeo channel or a YouTube channel, or if your work is still have an ArtStation link. And by the way, I mean, if you want to use Vimeo or YouTube, try to use Vimeo because it doesn't compress your video. Basically, Vimeo is great. It's just limited, like the amount of videos you can upload, but it's great for demo reels. Basically, I'm still keeping my reels in Vimeo instead of YouTube. So that's one thing. And then you can have a kind of a, I guess you already know about Linktree as well. Maybe you can just have a Linktree. You can just put it, if you can't have anything, at least share your Instagram and just show your work in Instagram, for instance. But if you, for instance, have a Linktree, you can just put all of them, like Vimeo, Instagram, all of them there and share that link. And that's going to be like a website for you. So these are like really, really important for you to be able to quickly do it. Like you don't have to just, like, I don't know, shuffle between stuff and say, okay, I want to show you this and this and this. It's just one link. It's pretty quick. And I go back quickly to the real points that I wanted to tell you. I go one by one. I already mentioned some. One is obviously the duration. Try to make it as short as possible. Maybe a minute and a half. It's great. It's a good. It's I think a minute and a half is good enough. If for, again, specifically for real, don't worry too much about the music. I was really like, I'm into editing as well. I was like trying to be like, choose a good music, just put like check the editing and just have a great demo reel. That's good if you want to make it public, if you want to just have it a cool demo reel and want to put it in your website and want to share it. But remember, like recruiters, we don't have, like, when we're like just looking at like many reels, we don't have like that much time. Again, it should be short. And again, most of the time they may be muted, so don't spend too much time, unless again you want to just have a cool one, like show it publicly. But privately, I mean, it might be muted when we're like just watching it. And I already told you, like, try to keep the good ones at first, like just try to get us hooked. And then I usually, like, this is something that I would say, maybe not many people would say, but I usually say keep good one first, and maybe scatter some of the mediocre in the middle, and then maybe one or two unique or funny or even good one towards the end as well, so it can act as a punchline, right? I mean, because if we are interested and we watch it towards the end, at the ending as well, it's going to act as a punchline. Oh, that was cool, haha. I mean, I liked it. I mean, this guy's funny. I mean, I can just like, I can feel like this guy's funny. I want to work with this guy, for instance. So that again, that can help as well sometimes. And I already told you, try to work on more mediocre work that is collaborative, that is unique to you, that has a specific style, rather than like a great work which is a repeated. It's an exercise. It's a common green screen of a tiger in front of something. So you're just working on the edges. You're just making it perfect. But it is seen so much that we say, okay, this is everyone has done this. But if you have a collaborative project, we say, oh, this guy has worked in a team, so that's nice. And last note is actually, like, again, just try to put something unique to separate yourself. You don't have to do this, but if you do this, for instance, put something, nowadays it's like AI art, right? Code art, like what is it? You can work with Unreal Engine, have an interactive art. You can have 360 VR work. You can just again, machine learning work. You try to have something, because that's gonna make it unique. And at the same time, sometimes that specific skill, because it's so rare, can actually get you a job, to be honest. For instance, if you're doing coding, these skills that are rare, if you put it in your reel, some companies might say, oh, I don't care about your work, it's just this 2 seconds, you can just do AI work. Okay, that's nice. You can just come over. So that's something that I would also suggest. That's my last tip for real, just real. But overall portfolio, yeah, just keep those things in mind as well.
Amazing, Mazyar. And just so you know, I recapped some of those. I mean, I hope I didn't destroy what you said, but I try to recap it in the chat for those who want to see as well, and just like copy paste it.
Oh, awesome.
So guys, is there other things that you wanted to chat about portfolio? I'm conscious of the time that we want to, potentially like have a couple more minutes before we move forward towards
yeah. So I think we can just like, I really wanted Dylan to talk a little bit about like, apart from portfolio, maybe he has some, like, he might have some tips as well, and Caitlin as well. But I feel like Dylan can share a little bit of his experience as a junior, like as an entry-level compositor in a remote environment, because again, it is really challenging. You don't have to, I think you already mentioned it, Dylan. You don't have to just repeat anything, but if you have extra tips about this remote situations, like how challenging it is, because it is challenging. It is really hard for entry level, because it's hard for them to find people for seniors to maybe ask them questions, or it is a little bit challenging. So Dylan, you want to go ahead, and then maybe Caitlin, if you have any tips.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, like Mazyar was saying, I finished school online, and had to reach out and talk to companies pretty much just via messaging online for the majority of it. I didn't even, when I got my internship, and I don't even think I didn't meet a single person from MPC until I was hired full-time after my internship. Everything was over Zoom and over Microsoft Teams. So my biggest thing was, like Mas has mentioned, was LinkedIn. When I was a senior at college, I think I went from like 200 connections to like over 1,000 connections. I was reaching out to everybody, and I was going through all the big visual effects companies, from MPC to the Mill to Framestore. I was looking at all of them and all the artists that work there, and I would go on their website and I would look at their about page and see who was listed on there, from their creative directors to their producers, and just reach out and try to connect with them and say, hey, you got I would love to maybe get on a Zoom call with you to look have you look over my work. I would love any critique or any or you just send them the link, and maybe they just look on their own, and then they'll send you some feedback. And I did that with a lot of people, and I got feedback, and even if my demo reel itself didn't update with the work wise, like I didn't have any new projects, but the way I presented it or the way I did a breakdown for it changed over like the summer after I graduated. I was still trying to do work and update my portfolio with new projects, but at the same time, I was just receiving feedback on things I could improve on my resume, or things I could improve on, like I said, a breakdown or something. I remember Amanda was a part of a portfolio review when I was a senior, and she had recommended a new way to do a breakdown for one of my shots. And as soon as the meeting was done, I think I had updated the breakdown by the end of the day, because I wanted to make sure I got it done. And I think I sent her the link by like the next day or whatever, and she was probably like, oh, like, this kid's so annoying, he's already bugging me about it. But
No. It is ambitious and driven.
yeah, and
I remember that.
there was there's a creative one of the creative directors at the company. When I finally got hired, he's like, we ended up as a company, we went out to lunch, and he's like, you know how many times you messaged me on LinkedIn, and finally you're here. So it does pay off in the long run to be continually to reach out to people and say, even when you're done having a conversation with them, be like, I'd love to catch up with you in like a month from now, or I'd love to show you my updated work next time I got the new reel all finished up and stuff like that. And sometimes they'll take a little while to get back, but there's no harm in reaching out and continually networking and getting your name out there. Honestly, is the biggest thing, because the more people you know in this industry and a lot of other industries, the better off you are. Because I actually just went to the office for one of the first times, and I got to meet a lot of people because everything's been remote, and I recognized a lot of people just because I had messaged them probably when I was in college, and I finally got to meet them in person, and now I'm a coworker with them. So it all everything comes
Except
around.
for their heights, right? Except for their heights.
Yeah,
Usually when
everybody's a lot shorter when you meet them in person. But yeah, I would say networking and reaching out via LinkedIn, that was my way to do it. Or even like trying to find their email and like sending them an email directly works as well. So that's what my big recommendation would be when it comes to like this whole remote applying to companies and stuff like that, is just networking and getting your name out to as many people as you can, honestly.
Maybe Caitlin. you want?
I agree 100%. One of the biggest things that I took away from SCAD was that networking is how you're going to get your jobs in the future, because even like your classmates might not be going to the same place as them right away, but down the line you could want to apply where they're at, and they can be there to help push you above and give you that edge to help get you that job in the door. Like I've heard so many people say, like, once you get far enough in the industry and people know you, like you don't even have to submit your resume in Reel anymore. They just know you for your work at that point, and they're willing to give you the job offers right then and there. So networking is really big nowadays.
It for
It
sure
seems
is,
like
and I'm sure. Sorry, I was gonna say I'm sure a lot of people will have questions to you about how to make that happen, because that's the big word that everybody's like, but how do you actually do that?
It seems like it's a huge industry, but a few years, even like 2 years in, you feel like you know at least one person from every company somehow. And yeah, I mean, like I have friends that that I went to school with that I feel are in a handful of companies all across, and be like, oh, I wonder what they're working on. You can just message them and ask them what they're working on, because you feel like you know everybody everywhere in such a short amount of time.
Awesome. So guys, just to be, Mazyar, do I have your okay? Like just to be conscious of time, because we've got some people that submitted portfolios for like a brief, so it's gonna be a brief review, guys. I've selected just 2 for us to like take a look at. And Mazyar, if we can keep it in like 10-15 minutes so that we can also have an opportunity for people to ask you questions after that, that would be awesome. So I've sent you, Mazyar, in your DMs, in your private ones, I've sent you 2 portfolios from Samori Etienne and then Carlos Design. I mean, Carlos Villasenor. Sorry, I'm like seeing like Carlos. Your last name is cut off, but we'll see it when we get to you. So maybe we can start with Samori. I think those are 2 different kind of. You'll see one is more video editing, one is more design. So I think it will give us a little bit of pro tips for all of it, right? And maybe you guys can take some things out of it.
Let's just, I mean, let everyone like watch it together, like for the first time. I don't want to just take a peek. So this is Samuri, right?
Samori, I'll add you to the spotlight so everybody knows.
Hey, Samuri.
Hello.
How you doing? Great. So you are a filmmaker, animator, and storyteller based in New Jersey. Awesome. That's pretty like short, and like it gives you gives the location and your work, and that's perfect. There's a short bio. I want to see if I can just put this here. This is me. I'll try to just like skip like the text, because if you want to just read everything, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like, I want to be quick. So, but I mean, this is pretty like simple, and that's good. That's great. I mean, it should be simple, so we know, okay, there's a contact here. But obviously, usually like recruiters like take a quick look, your location, your work, and we're gonna jump into your reel. I suppose it's the reels are here. Editing reel, and editing reel, the mad mind of meth, memories of games, memory of the game, kids first initiative. Okay, these are different projects, right? I can just click on them.
Yes. So you can just click on the editing.
Okay, I see. So let's just take a look at this one. Okay, that's nice. That's good that you put it in Vimeo. I was like, do we have sound? I mean, it's possible for editing. It's possible. Like the tip that I told you about music. I think for editing, we should. I think usually they check the sound as well, so they can check the beat and everything as well, because
Yeah, there should
it's
be
editing.
music with this one.
So these are you worked as an editor on these, right? Okay.
For most of them, some of them
Yeah.
are projects out.
So Okay, that's good. I mean, it's actually it's almost in that sweet spot, like 1 minute and 30. And let me just mute it so we can just do it maybe a commentary. And again, Dylan, Caitlin, feel free to jump in and say like if you have anything to say. But I feel like so it it does have some interesting projects like uh I feel like, for instance, like the quality of this project, like here, or like we have like some good stuff in the middle. So I think I get to that point that try to just keep us hooked at the beginning. So I feel like maybe you can just reshuffle it a little bit, but it's not that bad. It's nice. Uh, One thing again, this is like design wise, I feel like these are a little bit the lower third are a little bit like there's occupying too much space. So usually again, if you have a breakdown sheet, that's going to help us later to just, okay, if we found something interesting, we're going to go to the breakdown sheet and say, okay, he's done this and this. So you don't have to just put these like this, like occupying this much space. So we know that because it's gonna like, overall, what is it? It's gonna destroy like the composition. It's gonna just, it's not gonna look beautiful. So it's just try to just, this is like design wise, it's nothing crazy. But the information you're putting, it is enough, I think. You already uh, like for these projects, you already explained what you've done, so you're not putting anything, no lower thirds here. So we already know what was your role. Uh, but they are like yeah, they are. It's pretty a decent. What is it, real? But is it like I want to see if I need to comment on this, or is it like you have like multiple reels? Because they were like just, you're muted.
Oh yeah, no, this is the main video editing reel that I
Okay,
use.
so because there were like just so many links here. Like, so this is the editing reel, and we have like the Mad Mind. So what is this? I'm just curious. I'm a
Yeah,
little
so
bit.
yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
the top one is the reel, and then the other ones are some of the individual projects that are in the reel.
Okay, there are the actual projects, right?
Yeah. So if say if
Uh,
you saw something there and you were interested in it, you could see the
I
entire thing.
see, I see. So I would suggest to just make these separate. For instance, for instance, in my website, what I did is that, for instance, I didn't even just put like, again, you don't have to do this. Like you can find your own way, but feel free to just try this. But what I thought is that, okay, instantly I want them to just watch it and like the things that I worked on. So I even just put the about page somewhere else, like contact or something. But if they like something, I put it separately. For instance, in compositing, I have a different section that I've put the projects that I worked on, and they can just look at the whole like spot, right? So it is a little bit confusing. At first, I thought this is a different rule, this is a different, but now that I'm thinking about it, it's fine because of the naming. You said editing rate, but it is still a little bit confusing for the first time when you're like just like taking a look at this. Maybe you can just have two different sections. One is just the reel, you just click on it and it just plays automatically. It's going to be even easier, like better. And then you can just put something on the actual projects, so they can just take a look at those projects. So this is better. So I'll go back to this, and I feel like yeah, I've already, like, I think again, using it on Vimeo, it's great. uh and you already, again, design wise, maybe a little bit smaller lower third, and maybe reshuffle a little bit and to put some of those eye candy projects that are, they have like a nice cinematography, for instance, this one, nice lighting, are, you can just use them at the beginning, and then scatter them. You don't have to just have a progression like the best to the worst. It's like just have like you can scatter them, but try to just keep the first ones some interesting projects. Because I mean, for instance, I don't want to just do like for instance, this shot, for instance, when I'm looking at this shot, this is well lit, this is the cinematography and everything. Obviously maybe this one was like an independent like whatever, like it's like a lack of like equipments, whatever. I'm not trying to pick on this shot, but what I'm saying is that, for instance, this shot quality wise is not as good as this shot, right? I mean, especially like you can see like pure blacks here, like the grading and the lighting and the cinematography. But this one, it's definitely like much better. So you can just see that type of like different like styles, and then you can just scatter them. And then otherwise, I think it's pretty an impressive reel. I like it, and you're giving the impression of you're being an editor, but you're just putting some like small skills as well. Oh yeah, I can do a little bit of this type of an animation. I can do a little bit of this as well. So that's also interesting. That's like, okay, I'm an animator. I can do this. That's cool. It's gonna, these are those unique skills that you can just showcase that might help you, and they're not taking not too much of your reel. But otherwise, it's I like it. It's pretty. It is really impressive, to be honest. I mean, I'm
Awesome.
not a video editor, but yeah. I mean, from what I'm not like a supervisor to say, okay, how great. But from my point of view, it's pretty impressive.
Amazing. Thank you, Mazyar. Tamari, I hope that that was helpful. And let me move to Carlos, and I'm going to add him as well in the
Okay.
spotlight. So Carlos, totally different style, and different, like, I guess, medium even. But maybe we can do a quick review as well, and then I think I'd suggest we also like get your questions in a few minutes as well, so that we can all chat.
Yeah. So I'm having trouble with finding.
Yeah,
my
on my portfolio, I was actually tomorrow going to add like double the amount of projects that I currently have, because I haven't added them because I've been very busy. But you'll get the idea of the things that I do, But there's way more stuff, But you get the
Oh, yeah,
idea.
you're saying like there are like too many like different type of works that you're saying is, I didn't catch it.
No. So the work that I currently have is like I have way more, but I haven't had the time to actually put it on
Oh,
the portfolio.
I see.
But
I see.
you'll get the idea of of what I'm aiming for and
Yeah,
everything.
got it. Got it. I see. I see. So it's not
Yeah.
kind of up to date, but it's a kind of a you're working on it basically. It's a work in progress. Okay, so you're like a designer, and it's uh graphic designer, not a motion designer. It's just graphic
Yeah,
design.
no.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
So
specializing in brand.
okay. My actually my journey was actually starting from graphic design, and then I jump into motion design, and then I jump into vision. It's like it's just a long journey. But
all over.
like to some extent, I can just maybe give you some ideas. But I like this. Like this is something that I wanted to like say, like maybe to like others, that again the same as mine, that you instantly look. I think it might be easier for like galleries or in still work to instantly jump on those, but for videos it's a little bit harder. You have to have like fill it, I don't know, in something so people can click on it. But I really like that what you put, that instantly we can just in the first page we can see your work. So that's a big plus, because again we don't want to just say like, okay, this is it. We're getting introduced to you. We want to just see instantly what you've done worked on. And the other thing is that obviously as a graphic designer, you don't have a reel, so it's basically like galleries. And that's the other thing that maybe it's helping you to have a kind of a module, like a gallery module, and just put your stuff here. So, but these are your stuff, right?
Yeah,
These are your
everything is
work.
mine.
Okay. Yeah, they're like pretty cool. I like them. It's so these are like, for instance, some work, some branding you did. This is Instagram
That's
highlights.
like that's icons that I did for branding.
Okay, icons.
So,
Okay.
icons. I have like merchandise design, poster design, brand identity, illustrations, all kind of stuff.
So I think one point that I would suggest is that try to have a focus. Maybe what you can do is that you have different galleries and just put on the one that like maybe 60% or 70% of your work is focused on that specific type of work. Just put that first, because again, as an entry level point, when you want to enter a company, especially for big companies, we are looking for a specific skill. So basically try to just like select the ones that are related to that specific skill, the specific type of work, and make them into one gallery and just put that in the opening page, in the home page. And then maybe you can have like other what is it, other sections that you can just put on and say, okay, I do like a logo design as well, I do this as well, and this as well, like, or you know, or illustrations, I do illustrations as well. So that's one thing I feel like maybe you can just focus on. I can just do the like I do like, I don't know, print work as well. So I feel like that's one thing that I see, I feel like maybe you can just focus on. And otherwise, like design wise, it's great. You're a designer, everything, it looks like it's pretty cool. We get the information about you. And one thing that I think I saw here in summary, I think I saw an Instagram link, if I'm not mistaken. You have the LinkedIn here, but I remember seeing an Instagram at the bottom, or maybe I'm wrong. No, I think it was in the homepage, right? Was it?
Don't think I have my
But that's not my.
Oh, you don't have it? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. So I feel like maybe, do you have it in contact or no? Let me see.
Me?
No, you don't have it. About.
Sorry.
Okay.
Are you asking me or?
Yeah. I'm asking Carlos right now. Oh,
So
you have
everything is at
Instagram.
the bottom. Like, it's
Okay,
literally
you
right.
have Instagram.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I was like seeing it here actually. I mixed it with the other work.
I mean,
Okay.
it's also
Yeah.
in contact and everything, but like it's Instagram, Behance, and LinkedIn, everything.
Yeah. Behance and LinkedIn. Yeah, it's perfect. It's it has those links and it has LinkedIn. I think there's no space, right? Am I right? Or no? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we can just put with no space. I'm getting picky a little bit. Okay, but you have your, what is this? This is the homepage when I click on this?
That goes to homepage, yes. And
Okay. I see. And again, I know this is, I'm not trying to get like too picky because I'm pretty sure it's a web, right? And you're working on it. But that's the main thing. Again, we're like trying to just have some general comments. Otherwise, we can just we don't want to go too much in details. But
Of course.
this is, I mean, this is pretty kind of like you have like all types of work, like graphic design wise. So it's pretty impressive. And I feel like just that tip about like focusing and having different galleries, like different types of work, that could help you. That's my take. Hopefully that was
Amazing.
helpful.
thank you.
Awesome.
No worries.
Thank you, Mazyar. Dylan, Kate, anything else? Caitlin, anything else to add before we break this down for a Q&A?
No,
I
I
think-
think, yeah, you can go ahead.
I was gonna say, I agree. But the only thing I was gonna add on is like my personal website as well. I have my reel and all my main work just right on the front page. That way, for recruiters going to your website, it's just right there, front and center. They can just see your work because most of the time they already know who you are. They just want to see your work. So just make it as easy for them to find as possible.
Yeah, for like my website, as soon as you get on it, it's the demo reel right in the front, and then there's other sections for all the visual effects work, and then I do a lot of photography, so like I have sections for my different types of photography on there as well, and then the about page is on separate, and contact.
Can you tell me, Dylan, what's your like, because we didn't see yours or
Yeah,
Caitlin.
it's just my name, dylannet.com.
Dylan, what am I typing? Dylannet.com. Here we go.
So like, yeah, demo reel right there at the beginning, and then if you scroll
Play
down
it.
some, you have all the VFX work,
Film photography and street
Yeah.
photography.
and
Yeah.
I've lived in like 3 main locations. So I've done photography in New York, New Hampshire, and then traveling would be mostly California because that's where I lived the past year.
Yeah, this is actually a good point. I mean, I did put like some photography, like some stills here as well, like in my website. But this is actually, this brings me a good tip that you guys, for instance, photography, it's usually, it's the base of all the visual arts, right? So that's a good thing that maybe you can showcase your photography skills as well. That's good actually, because people know, okay, you know composition, you know color, you know light. In I think most of your work, even though that there are like just many different disciplines right now in this call, but that's a good way of like showing your way of looking around you, and you know composition, you know color, you can you know lighting. So this is actually nice, nice touch.
Love
Thanks,
that.
Maz.
Great.
Perfect. Well, guys, just
Yeah.
because we're almost reaching the hour, and I don't know if you guys have time to hang out a little bit more in case there's a lot of questions, but I mean, I'm available to hang out for a little bit longer. But perhaps why don't we like, you know, go ahead. I don't know if you guys have any questions, you know, for Mazyar, Dylan, and Caitlin, whether it's about, you know, going a bit deeper into some of the portfolio aspects, or even entering the industry, because I think that's a real thing. And you know, the Mill is a huge company, right? So it's not an easy, certainly not an easy place to enter, as well. Let's be real. So perhaps they can also tell you some some of their tips of how they got into such, you know, big companies. So please go ahead. We are 19 here on the call, so I'd still want to, if you have a question, I would prefer for you to like, you know, just have little, you see, you can put a little emoji thing. Yeah,
Oh.
Carlos, I can see you already have a question. And guys, keep it short in your questions, please, just so that everybody can participate. So Carlos, go ahead. Why don't you kickstart this Q&A session?
Yeah, well, this is more focused on maybe on the freelance side, but maybe you guys can give me some input on this. So what are the best strategies to grow within the industry, online and social media presence, in order to get a more stable flow or a more constant flow of clients on the freelance part of the business, but can also be applied for the you know, getting a job in the industry? What could be the strategies that you can actually utilize, you know, on social media, you know, paid or free, anything that works? Because I mean, at this point, I already network, I already talk to people, I already post, you know, consistently, like more in depth. Maybe if you guys have some like input on that.
So to recap the question, because I wasn't sure. So you're basically, you're asking about freelance work, not like just entering the company, right?
More like social
both,
media
what,
strategy. More, it's Carlos, if I can rephrase, like more like, you know, do you guys have ideas of like, you know, social media strategy to be able to like establish yourself and get a better flow of like clients for freelance projects, or even entering the industry, pretty much?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, social media is the key nowadays. Like it's like just but there are tricks, and like it depends on the specific like social media website. But for instance, Instagram has its own like ways of being seen, right? So for instance, one way is like just like one way is to pay, right? I mean, I always like everyone if you want to pay, but no, just kidding. But like if you want to just put an advertisement, but I mean, in general, I feel like there are like some tips and tricks, for instance, in Instagram for you to have like constantly be active, and like in like a with a specific intervals, like just, you know, put out work. And sometimes maybe for some people, if they haven't done any professional work, sometimes again, I'm talking about like freelance work, if you can just always like tell people, like be like if you're passionate about like specific brand or a specific company or a specific like a YouTube channel or something you're following, you can tell them like, I can do this for you for now, like for free, for instance, so I can have this as a portfolio and just put it in my website. This is better than like you doing something on your own, because it is like counted as a project. No one should know that you did it for free. I mean, it is counted as project, but you should be uh, active, and you should be like have what is it? Don't like just put out a book post like every week, for instance, put out 2 posts. Like it should have a specific intervals. That's how an Instagram would just keep your page more to be seen, like basically by more people, right? But yeah, be active, and it should be like the intervals would be like something consistent, like maybe twice a week. And then Yeah, and yeah, the tip is like, for instance, if you like something that you're passionate, like a specific YouTube channel, a specific brand, just do something for free, something like I can do a quick logo design for you guys. I have this idea for you guys. Try to reach them, right? Don't wait them to reach you, right? And then you can just put it as a project, and no one should know that you did it for free. It's maybe you already got paid from my point of view, right?
Love that.
Yeah.
Carlos, hope
And
that answers it. Yeah.
yeah,
Dylan,
real
go.
quick. I know because a lot of your work is because graphic design is more like still, but a lot of social media nowadays is all based around like video. And so what I would recommend maybe for you is to try to show your work, even though if it's stills, but to be able to show it in video form. So maybe to try to get grab the viewer's attention a little more, whether it's showing a bunch of your work in like a slideshow form, but to try to come up with a way, in a creative way, to show your stills and your graphic work in video form to be able to post that on social media. I think that would be a good way to present all your stuff other than just posting a picture, because a lot of people nowadays, whether you see the picture in at all, tend to be attracted to a video more than just a photo.
That's a good point actually, because I think like if you put a post or if you put a reel in Instagram, the reel gets more exposure. Like,
Yeah.
and for instance,
Yeah.
if you even if you use a specific music and you like license and you just put down the name of the music, that's gonna help you even more. Like it's gonna double the viewership, like the viewing count.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
exactly.
Yeah, something else you could do is do like a screen record of you like actually working on it, which I know could be like hours and hours of work, but you could then edit that into a reel showing you like the entire progression of your project. You can put that on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, and get a lot of viewers that way.
Yeah, the making of your designs.
Yeah, you do the screen grab, yeah, and do a time lapse maybe of the like everything you're doing in Illustrator or Photoshop and before and after, basically.
Yeah, because not everybody can do what you do, so people are interested in how it's done. And so if you're able to show them that, yeah, it'll get people more interested in your work and want to see more of it.
Love
And
that. Thanks,
definitely
guys.
that's going to help you. Yeah, definitely that's going to help you like get more clients, because when you get more followers and you get more credibility and people will say, oh wow, this guy is like legit, like that's going to help you for sure.
It's the game nowadays.
Number game.
Number games, exactly. Carlos, hope that answers it. Sorry, I'll remove the spotlight on you if you don't mind, so that we keep it with the three artists. So any other questions, guys, that you might have for from for the artists here in terms of like portfolio, industry, entering, any other questions? And I'll wait for the little, like, again, you can put a little reaction if you wanna put your hand out. And I also have one question in the meantime that anybody thinks about it, just that I wanted to ask you guys, like, because you're probably getting a very solicited, right? I'm sure that Amanda and Yelena who are on this call, they're like passing like profiles to you guys, like review this one. What do you think about this intern? What do you think about this junior? Like in the end of the day, how long do you spend on those people on like reviewing, those profiles, to be honest? And like, what would you say like are the attention grabbers right away? Is it just a reel? Is it like something else? Is it like, does it matter to have like killer cover letters or something that comes with it? Like just for people here that are applying to a bunch of jobs right now.
No, I mean, definitely like the first impressions are like obviously like the cover letter, like everything that's kind of like again, I'll go back to the reel, like the first couple of seconds, like, or the cover letter, even the design of the color, something that gets us hooked, right? And that's gonna keep us going. Okay, this guy or this guy is funny. This guy is like just I can see a character in this reel. I can see in the design, in the wording. I mean, you don't have to be funny. You can be like something, I mean, there are like different characteristics, right? So you can see that like in the whole package, in the whole portfolio, and that's gonna get us hooked. And it's just step by step and the first few steps. But then again, unfortunately, because they're like just for like entry level, there are like so many applications. It's usually we have to go super quick, right? Yeah, because of the quantity. So that's why it needs to grab our attention. Like the first impression should be like something. Okay, this is interesting. Now let's just like spend like 5 more seconds or 10, like 15 more seconds in the reel. I'm just talking about, for instance. Oh, that's interesting. And it gets to a point that's going to break it. Now I want to watch it till the end. And that's that's the thing that usually after that we might like keep that, like, or maybe put a checkbox or something. Okay, this guy is good, we're going to keep it. And the other thing is that if you get rejected, don't get personal, or don't get, because it depends on the time you're applying. I mean, sometimes we need like so many people. Sometimes you're lucky. I feel like I was lucky. They are in need of like people, they are in need of artists, but sometimes they aren't. It doesn't mean like, oh my god, these people, they don't like my work. No, it's like at that specific time, we went like just 1-2 individuals, and we found like super like some godlike work. I don't know. I mean, and then we had to just take those. But it doesn't mean, maybe you were actually the next person that we were about to pick. So don't get it like, don't get discouraged. Don't get like, or personal or something. Oh, I don't want to just apply for this company anymore. It's like just keep doing it. And again, I know sometimes you need to be lucky, but yeah, just do it. Just don't get discouraged. That's what I'm saying.
Amanda, I'm seeing you raising your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what Mazyar and I think Caitlin brought up as well. Make it really easy. Make your work the first thing that people see on your home page or in your reel. Make your reel the first thing that they see, because that's what we're looking at first of all. And, you know, the first 30 seconds will decide whether to carry on with the reel and go a bit deeper or not. So just make it, any websites or art portfolio pages, clean, simple, and focus on the work.
Amazing. And by the way, this is the advice from the director of operations at the Mail, guys, Amanda, who's here. So I'll take that in if I were you.
And Mazyar's right. Don't give up, because a lot of it is about timing as well. Like Dylan was saying, you know, you can keep in touch with whoever you've made contact with at the company, and, you know, you've updated your reel. That's a good opportunity to check back in. Okay, you don't get a response for a second time. You've updated your reel in another 2 months. Check back in again. So you kind of have to be organized and keep a record of who you've reached out to and when you're going to reach out again. Because that third time might be the time that they're crewing up for a big Super Bowl spot, and guess what, they're gonna give you a shot. So it's a bit of persistence.
Yeah, when I was in search of a job after school, I kept a Google Doc with all the companies I've reached out to, and the list got bigger and bigger and bigger the further from graduation I got. I think I ended up reaching out to I think it was like 40 to 50 companies. I don't even think I started reaching out to companies that didn't even do visual effects. I just wanted a job at that point. And but yeah, I just stay consistent. And like Mazyar was saying, sometimes it's like the little details in the whether it's the way you opened up your demo reel, or it's just sometimes being memorable on the first interaction with a company, or the first interaction with a professional from a company will make you stick out for the next time you reach out to them. Like I remember my first when I graduated, my first shot on my demo reel had my face literally all over it. It was a shot with like 100 of me, and so they weren't forgetting my face because I plastered it all over my demo reel, literally. And so the next time I reached out and I got on a Zoom call, they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." And then I started playing my demo reel, and there was like 100 of me on the screen, and so I just made it more memorable. And so I stuck in the back of their head as when they started seeing my demo, like, oh yeah, I talked to Dylan 2 months ago, and now he has this new work and this new work. So sometimes it's the little details, or like Maz said, being funny, or just having a good personality and a good interaction with a company or a individual that'll make you memorable and stick in the back of their mind and be on a list of people they'll reach out to when they're in search of when there's a job opening or something.
Amazing, guys. So just to be mindful of time, we probably will have to wrap this up in about 2-3 minutes. If there's one last question, we'll take it. Or one last, thought from you guys before, because I know that some of you were like, there's probably 3 different time zones on this call here. So I'm, you know, I know that we had people from Europe calling it at 3 a.m. even. So I just want to, you know, kind of be mindful of that. So any final questions or any final thoughts from you guys before we wrap up this amazing event, when I learned a lot, and I'll definitely like steal a bunch of your advice. I'm sorry. I'll definitely steal those for myself when I talk to our participants for sure. Any final questions, guys? I'm looking through. Yeah, Carlos, did you say that? Did you do that, or did I dream? Sorry.
Well, no, it was just like I'm good.
Oh, you're good. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So, Mazyar, Dylan, Caitlin, any final thoughts on your end before we wrap this up? Or do you feel like you've conveyed? I mean, it's so short, you know, it's so hard to convey everything that we want to convey in like a
Yeah, I
little bit
think,
over an hour.
yeah, it was like I try to have like a condensed from like as much as possible, like the information. And I really enjoyed like watching, like taking a look at the portfolios. I wish we had more time to like take a look at more portfolios. I really enjoy, and especially like from different disciplines. It's really nice. And I can't wait for to work with you guys, like at least like I don't know, in the near future, especially like.
Those are definitely
Connect
people
with
to
us on
watch.
LinkedIn. That's what I would say.
Can
Connect
I
with us
ask something real quick before we go?
Yeah, Carlos, go ahead.
So yeah, just really quick. So for example, I don't know if this is very generic, but for international hiring, so when you're hiring someone international, you have to apply for a working visa and everything. Approximately how long does it take to actually, if when they give you the contract, how long does it take to actually get the visa? If that's something that you guys know.
That's probably not the artist who will probably know that. Maybe that's an Amanda question. I'm not sure if you would know.
It really depends on what type of visa and the current state of immigration in the US. It's taken about 6 months to get somebody over just recently from Brazil because of the backlog and all of the bureaucracy. So it really does vary. Some easy visas are easier than others, but it's a good few months, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Carlos, feel free to reach out to me. Carlos is one of our participants at Artbound Initiative. So feel free to reach out to me as well, because I'll probably be able to advise on that based on what you're applying for. I have a lot of experience with that with our participants. Yeah. Everybody's international. So perfect. Sorry. So guys, thank you so much for, you know, giving us your expertise. And you know, guys, I recommend for you all to also follow you know, the Mill, what they're doing, to follow the artists as well, you know, on LinkedIn, and seeing like, you know, engage with their content as well. That's definitely something that's extremely important to kind of see what they're up to. I know that there's a lot of new upcoming projects constantly at the Mill, and probably recruiting as well. So engage as well with the companies that you really want to, you know, work for and get involved with. That's the most important thing. And guys, I would love to do that again. If like you enjoyed it and you want to do more portfolio reviews, we're always up for it. And maybe next time we can do a longer session and just like do a big you know, portfolio review, and like, you know, something fun like that. At least I had a lot of fun doing that with you guys, and thank you again so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Guys,
thank you,
thanks
everyone.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. I'll put some links here before you all go, but we have here Yelena who put @Mill channel on IG. So go ahead and follow that, and I'll put also our link if you want to see. We'll try to send you also the recording. We'll try to post the recording somewhere if you guys want to re-access it.
Okay,
bye
perfect.
guys.
Awesome. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye everyone.